So would you look at what Molly's mom found in her closet? Some of Molly's old books. Man, was this a throwback. So much nostalgia, so much, so many good memories, so much imagination, possibilities that flood your mind as a kid. And that's a beautiful thing, I really, really think. I think it's one of the markers of a good childhood is how much you're able to exercise your imagination and explore the depths of your mind. And be honest with you, if I had one criticism to level against us adults, it's that we don't do a good enough job maintaining the active imagination as we grow up. And this book is in fact a metaphor for just that phenomenon. So, enough armchair philosophy for one day. Let's take a dip back in time. And hopefully you guys get as much out of this book as I did when I was a child. The Giving Tree by Shel Silverstein. To Glenn and Molly. That's Molly's brother. 1994. Once there was a tree. And it looks like a big one. We see the roots, the large trunk, and its leaves hanging down. And she loved a little boy. And every day the boy would come. There he is, running happily towards the tree with her branches outstretched to greet him. And he would gather her leaves as they fell to the ground. He would gather her leaves and make them into crowns and play king of the forest. King of the forest. Look at him walking around, imagining being king as she leans over him. And he would climb up her trunk. We see he's now kicked his shoes off and he's halfway up her trunk. And swing from her branches. and they would play hide and go seek. And there he is, hiding behind a rock, as her branch reaches out to tap his head and say, "I found you." And when he was tired, he would sleep in her shade. He's eaten all the apple cores with a full belly. He's played, exhausted himself, and now she can provide him with shade to sleep under. And the boy loved the tree. He loved her very much. And the tree was happy. And the tree was happy. But time went by. Time went by, and we see the boy growing up, looking off into the distance. And the boy grew older. The boy grew older, and now we can see him behind the tree with a second pair of legs and a new heart with initials inside. Instead of one leaf, 2 leaves fall to the ground. And the tree was now often alone. Then, one day, the boy came to the tree, and the tree said, "Come, boy, come and climb. Climb up my trunk and swing from my branches and eat my apples and play in my shade and be happy." "I am too big to climb and play," said the boy. "I want to buy things and have fun. I want some money. Can you give me some money?" "I'm sorry," said the tree, "but I have no money. I have only leaves and apples. Take my apples, boy, and sell them in the city. Then you will have money, and you will be happy." And so the boy climbed up the tree and gathered her apples and carried them away. And the tree was happy. We see him loosening all the apples, letting them fall to the ground. But the boy stayed away for a long time, and the tree was sad. And then one day the boy came back, and the tree shook with joy. And she said, "Come, boy, climb my trunk and swing from my branches and be happy." "I'm too busy to climb trees," said the boy. "I want a house to keep me warm," he said. "I want a wife, and I want children, and so I need a house. Can you give me a house?" "I have no house," said the tree. "The forest is my house, but you may cut off my branches and build a house. Then you will be happy. And so the boy cut off her branches and carried them away to build his house. And we see now she's bald, and you see his arms are full of wood to build his house. And he does look happy. And the tree was happy. But the boy stayed away for a long time, and when he came back, the tree was so happy she could hardly speak. "Come, boy," she whispered. "Come and play. I'm too old and too sad to play," said the boy. "I want a boat that will take me away from here. Can you give me a boat?" "Cut down my trunk and make a boat," said the tree, "and then you can sail away and be happy." And so the boy cut down her trunk and made a boat and sailed away. Notice he left the initialized heart from the boy in the tree and took with him the heart from his girlfriend. And the tree was happy, but not really. And we see the trunk. The trunk is a little slouched, a little down, all alone. And after a long time, the boy came back again. "I am sorry, boy," said the tree, "but I have nothing left to give you. My apples are gone." "My teeth are too weak for apples," said the boy. "My branches are gone," said the tree. "You cannot swing on them." "I am too old to swing on branches," said the boy. "My trunk is gone," said the tree. "You cannot climb." "I'm too tired to climb," said the boy. "I am sorry," said the tree. "I wish that I could give you something, but I have nothing left. I am just an old stump. I am sorry." "I don't need very much now," said the boy. "Just a quiet place to sit and rest. I'm very tired." "Well," said the tree, straightening herself up as much as she could. "Well, an old stump is good for sitting and resting. Come, boy, sit down and rest." And the boy did. And the tree was happy. The end. Next, we have Where the Wild Things Are. Story and Pictures by Maurice Sendak. This book is it's a celebration. It's another great example of a celebration of the imagination that we are encouraged to use as children. And I hope increasingly more as adults. And the winner of the Caldecott Medal for Most Distinguished Picture Book of the Year. And of course this one's a little bit beat up. You can see where Molly's dog may have nibbled it a little bit. Years and years ago. I really love this opening scene, more of a picture. You see the cross hatching there. It's a beautiful use of toned down colors that remind you of nighttime. Kind of sets the mood. Here's our main characters here. And we begin. The night Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind, him nailing a string of sheets into the wall. And another. Here we see Max chasing his dog down the steps with what looks like a big kitchen fork. His mother called him Wild Thing, and Max said, "I'll eat you up." So he was sent to bed without eating anything. And here he's angrily staring in the direction of his mother, undoubtedly, from his closed room door. That very night, in Max's room, a forest grew. We see his bedposts turning into trees, his door frame also turning into trees, his room turning into a forest. And it grew. And now Max is nearly completely in a forest. And grew until his ceiling hung with vines and the walls became the world all around. And an ocean tumbled by with a private boat for Max, and he sailed off through the night and day. And in and out of weeks, and almost over a year, to where the wild things are. And look at this mighty dragon, who appears to have caught Max by surprise, with his claws and his fishy reptilian scales. he came to the place where the wild things are, they roared their terrible roars, gnashed their terrible teeth, and rolled their terrible eyes, and showed their terrible claws. And we see Max here doesn't look too pleased by these features of the monsters and the creatures. Till Max said, "Be still," and tamed them with the magic trick of staring into all their yellow eyes without blinking once, and they were frightened and called him the most wild thing of all. And made him king of all wild things. "And now," cried Max, "let the wild rumpus start." Look at that party, dancing and howling under the moonlight. And it's a full moon to boot. I love how the moon is like a representative of the thing in the sky when we sleep. Just like the sun is the thing in the sky that's most powerful and warm and full of energy when we're awake and conscious. The moon is what we look up to in the night. The thing that we project our imagination onto. So it's very apt that they would be dancing and looking up and howling into the moonlight. And during the day, and here they are, being wild as little kids often are, swinging from the branches. And here, Max is still king of the wild things, being carried around on their shoulders. "Now stop," Max said, and the wild things went off to bed without their supper. And Max, the king of all wild things, was lonely and wanted to be where someone loved him best of all. Then, all around, from far away across the world, he smelled good things to eat. So he gave up being king of where the wild things are. But the wild things cried, "Oh, please don't go. We'll eat you up. We love you so." And Max said, "No." The wild things roared their terrible roars, gnashed their terrible teeth, and rolled their terrible eyes, and showed their terrible claws. But Max stepped into his private boat and waved goodbye, and sailed back over a year, and in and out of weeks, and through the day. of his very own room, where he found his supper waiting for him. Right there on his desk. And you can see he's very, very happy to be back home in his room. And it was still hot. The end. To continue the series with books that at least children of my generation, and probably many other generations, also grew up with, we have this famous artist. He didn't always write the books, but his style of painting is very distinct. It looks like paper mache or watercolor. I'm not really sure, to be honest with you. But this is another one Molly had from her childhood boxes that her mother recently emptied out of the attic. This one's called The Lamb and the Butterfly by Arnold Sundgaard. Pictures by Eric Carl. And we have an opening of what looks like a beautifully complex field of grass, I would say. A lamb and a butterfly met one day in the middle of a meadow. The lamb asked the butterfly, "Where is your mother?" And the butterfly answered, "I haven't the slightest idea. My mother flies one way, while I fly another." And with a zig and a zag and a ziggity zag, the butterfly fluttered away and landed on a dandelion. The lamb kicked up her heels and ran after him. "Where is your home?" the lamb asked the butterfly. "The world is my home," answered the butterfly. "I'm free to fly anywhere." And with a zig and a zag and a ziggity zag, the butterfly fluttered away and landed on a bristle thistle. The lamb kicked up her heel and ran after him. "But where do you sleep?" the lamb asked the butterfly. "I sleep where I please," said the butterfly to the lamb. "Wherever I am, well, that's where I sleep." And with a zig and a zag and a ziggity zag, the butterfly fluttered away and landed on a poppy. The lamb kicked up her heels and ran after him. "Why do you flutter so?" the lamb asked the butterfly. "Why shouldn't I flutter?" the butterfly asked in reply. "Well, lambs don't flutter," said the lamb to the butterfly. "We walk a straight line. One follows the other." "But I don't follow anyone," said the butterfly to the lamb. I go wherever I choose, and now I choose to leave this meadow. Very free-thinking butterfly. And with a zig, and a zag, and a ziggity-zag, the butterfly left the meadow and landed on a sunflower. The lamb ran after him. Come back, she cried. I want to ask you a question. What's your question? The butterfly asked the lamb. Please don't leave me, the lamb implored the butterfly. That's not a question, said the butterfly to the lamb. Put it in the form of a question. And the lamb said, why don't you stay with me? My mother will take care of you. And with a zig and a zag and a ziggity-zag, the butterfly flew into the sky. I don't need anyone to take care of me, said the butterfly to the lamb. I'm on my way, he cried. Goodbye. Goodbye. But at that very moment, a fierce black cloud darkened the sky, and rain began to fall. An angry gust of wind caught the butterfly's wings, and he was swept out of sight. Then the lamb heard her mother bleating, and she hurried to her side. What were you doing at the far end of the meadow? The mother asked the lamb. I followed the butterfly, said the lamb to her mother, and now he's lost in the storm. Poor butterfly, said the mother to the lamb. But that's what happens when you go fluttering this way and that. But now I'll never see him again, said the lamb to her mother. He's gone forever. And then the mother asked, what is that on your back? What is that on my back? The lamb asked her mother. Isn't that a butterfly? The mother asked the lamb. And she was right. Sure enough, there on the back of the lamb was the butterfly himself. His wings were wet and bedraggled. Now will you stay? The lamb asked the butterfly. Let me think about it, said the butterfly to the lamb as he dried out his wings. By now the sun had come out. Slowly the butterfly tried to flutter with a zig, 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 and a zag, 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 and a ziggity, ziggity, zigzag. He managed to reach a honeysuckle vine. In one of its blossoms, he found a pool of nectar, and he sipped, and he sipped, and he sipped. So what have you decided? The lamb asked the butterfly. I'd like to stay, said the butterfly to the lamb, but I really must be on my way. I'm heading south, you know. But why go south? Cried the lamb. Because I don't have a woolly coat like yours to keep me warm. If I stayed, I'd freeze. Well, if that is so, said the lamb to the butterfly, I won't try to stop you. Please don't think me ungrateful, said the butterfly to the lamb. And spreading out his wings, in the splendid act of flight, he zigged and he zagged, and he ziggity-zagged, and soon was lost from sight. This time the lamb did not kick up her heels and run after him. She walked instead to her mother's side and never asked a butterfly to join a flock of sheep again. the end. I hope you all enjoyed this trip down memory lane. I hope it was something fun and useful to relax to. Take care.